Oh man, what a way to start the show.
Making
Little
children
kids.
cry is always funny.
That's right. Making children cry. It's the best way to start Halloween.
Broke her out of her
Oh
hypno
man. Yeah, I know. I was trying to hit it. I was hitting the space bar and the thing kept jumping on me. And I was like, oh, great. We're looking stupid already. So welcome everybody to our Halloween special. This is our second Halloween special. Can you believe that?
Nice.
Second one.
Cool. I'm glad I could be here.
Around. Yeah, we've been around for over a year now, Murph. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Last time we dressed up, but we're too old and grumpy.
Probably. Well, we got to welcome Immortal here with us. Immortal Rising. Thank you for showing up.
What is up?
Aaron?
Good evening, everybody.
Thanks for coming. We're going to have good times tonight. We're going to talk about some weird stuff. So that'll be fun. Who do we have here? We have Mrs. Good Stuff. Man, she was here early, like at 6:14 p.m. That's crazy.
Nice.
Way early. Crazy Mads in the house.
What's up?
We got the Art and Times of Jay Ryan, Aliens, Oni, and Other Tales.
Cool.
And who else do we have? Mo Biggs.
Oh, the legend.
That's right. Comics Mate Dean is here. Aha, I beat the censorship.
We don't censor here.
Not much. We probably should.
Seriously.
We probably should. But that's okay. It's all right. It's all good. So, wait, new people? Nope, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, Jim Cox.
Oh no, Jim Cox. Hey, Jim. How's it going, man? Hit the like button, slackers. Okay, so tonight we have some things we're going to talk about, some weird stuff. But first, we always get into Crazy Mad. And hang on, Mo Big says the little girl represents the viewers. The boy in the mask represents Murph's taste in music. Ain't that the damn truth?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
I say it's the damn truth. Mo's preaching up in here. Okay, Crazy Mad. Question of the week. Would you rather always forget someone's name but remember their face, or always remember their name but forget their face?
The interesting thing is, forgetting a person's face, that's actually a psychological condition. There are people that have that every time they see even their loved ones, the face is always new, which is crazy. I don't know if the name one is anything.
I already do that. I always forget people's names. So
I forget names too.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm in that boat. I think if I forget your face, I'm not going to know who you are. If I know your face, I'm familiar with you, and that means I know something about you. But if I forget your name, that don't mean anything. It just means I'm getting old.
A lot of stuff up there to remember. Jeez.
Yeah. So what do you think, Murph? Where are you at with it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would be the difference in a situation like meeting someone from high school again, because people's faces kind of change anyways. So I feel like that's more of a normal thing, because once they say their name, it's like, oh, I can have a whole conversation with them. If I forget a person's name, I probably don't remember nothing about them, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, I forget names if I meet a person like once. But if this is saying always, so this would be like friends that you have and everything. So, yeah, I'd much rather forget someone's face than their name. I feel like their name goes with their identity more than their face does.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like if I forget a face, I'm totally forgetting you. That means I don't remember anything we did together or had any interactions. And that's scary to me. That's kind of a fear. I wouldn't like that. So I still don't know which one is Murph and which one is Dirk.
That's pretty fun.
I thought we had names up here. Didn't we have names?
We
What happened to
did.
our
I don't know
names?
where they go. Yeah, our Twitter.
I'll find
thing.
them. I'm going to get those up here. I wish I could forget Danny's face.
I think it's when you show their
F
comment.
Danny.
It makes ours go away.
Right. Okay.
Actually, Danny's kind of a ghost, right? He's got like a spirit trapped in a puppet.
What?
It's kind of creepy. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
Danny's
Danny
a
from
puppet. He's a wood
Bancroft's
puppet.
Bancroft's video.
Oh no. I don't think. I've
Yeah,
seen
there's this wood puppet named Danny that hates Comicsgate, and so he'll go on Bancroft's and just talk shit. I think he's on Twitter.
There's our names.
Whose idea was that?
We don't know. We don't know who Danny is.
I don't know who actually did it. So
Oh, great.
it's hard saying.
I'm gonna have to find that one.
Yeah, no one's figured it out
Um,
yet who Danny is,
yeah.
but he'll be in the chat there.
So
Not all the time, but a good amount of times.
I got a question for you guys. What kind of
Yeah.
Halloween movies do you watch? You know, like every October in my house, you know, the family's like, oh, it's October. It's Halloween themed movies now until Halloween. So, which ones are you guys into? Like
Well-
your got-tos?
Ghostbusters, I watch every year.
Nice.
I love them, and actually the newest one they just did was actually really done well with one of the actors being dead. How they used him in the story, I thought was amazing.
Yeah, it was
So,
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was very,
that.
very cool.
Oh shoot! I'm just
I
messing with
finally
the whole
just
thing
saw it.
here.
I like
You know what,
I like
for me-
Scream as well.
I don't have like a holiday Halloween ritual. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't watch the same movies. I might watch. I mean, one of my favorites is watching It. I like the new It movies.
Oh, okay.
The second
I think-
new It movie's way better than the first one. I feel like
I think
the
they're
first
both
one's
well done.
boring.
Okay.
I think
They're
they're both well done.
but
I
the
think they
first
follow
one's
the book.
a lot more boring.
I heard
Yeah.
the first one was better.
Well,
I like
they're
the
all-
first one a
I
little
haven't
better.
seen it though, so
Yeah.
You should
Oops,
though.
I
They
wanna
are
put this
both
back
very
up.
well done.
Mo says, I'm ashamed to admit that I introduced Danny to CG. I should have kept it to myself. But when he told me Bancroft had sent him, I had to confront Bancroft. That has been lore for a long time now. Murph is out of his mind.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
what's
because
that in
of-
reference to?
I'm guessing probably It, because that was.
Oh.
Hmm.
You know what's another
Yeah.
good movie to watch is Jaws. Jaws is an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I always liked Michael Myers, but I haven't watched those movies, Halloween's, in a long time.
You only need to watch the early Halloween, like the first one. Don't mess with any others.
Oh, that's true.
Look,
Yeah.
so Dean says the second chapter just isn't as good as the first, even in the
Oh,
book. Yeah,
come
I
on.
think the first chapter's pretty damn good, man.
No, the second chapter's better.
I like it. I don't
The
know.
adults are
I love
better
it.
than the kids.
I like the kids.
So
I like Tim
a
Curry,
movie that
Pennywise better.
a movie that I don't see every Halloween, but I got to watch this Halloween was The Crow. So for me, that's a Halloween movie.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I watch that. I don't tend to go back to it very often, but I've seen it a few times. I just, some people watch it religiously.
No. Yeah,
It's
I'm
not a
quite
return
there.
for me. Yeah.
Although when I was a teenager, it was one of our drinking movies. Where we had a place to hang out. We only had a few select movies. And
Yeah.
The Crow would be one of those where we just watch it in the background and end up being able to quote it.
Right.
Whatever. So.
Well, okay. So Crazy Mad says I like Tim Curry's Pennywise, but I like the new movie It better. And I
yeah.
I
but
mean, Tim Curry,
yeah,
that's hard to beat, dude.
Tim Curry was great. I think he did a great job, but I like the new It better than the Tim Curry version, even though I like Tim Curry's version. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. You nailed it at Crazy Mad. The 90s version had the better actor for Pennywise, but otherwise the new movies were better. I thought the new guy was great, man. I really do. But I still love Tim Curry's version. So it's weird to say you like one over the other, but
I think what hurts this Pennywise is like the very, very CGI stuff. You can tell, like when he gets like very big or anything, and it's just not as scary because it's CGI. Where practical, your mind gets confused, so it's scarier. than when you know it's not fake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. There were parts to the new It when he's standing there and he does this facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he did a fantastic job at that, man. He gets very Jim Carrey like with the rubbery face, and it's him actually doing it. It's not CGI stuff until they morph him or whatever. So I thought he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so guys, we want to tell some ghost stories tonight. Just to talk about some real encounters you guys have had, or have your family have had, or things like that, things that you grew up being scared of, whatever you want to share. And then we're going to get into some other weird stuff. So each of us can share maybe like a story, and then we'll just move on. So, and we'll talk to the chat about it as we go.
Oh, my dad mentioned The Shining in the chat. I haven't watched The Shining in a long time.
I do love The Shining, man. I do love The Shining. I gotta admit.
You ever see those fan theory breakdowns where the guy will get into like all the symbolism of the movies and stuff like that?
Yeah, isn't a big thing with like it's supposed to be about Native Americans and what happened to them? Like that's supposed to be where the blood comes from, and
that you're probably right. It's been a while since I watched it. I remember stuff like the Gold Room, and it's supposed to be talking about the Federal Reserve at some point. And
yeah.
In that picture in the room with where he's like in the past, all those people were like really rich at the time. Like they were actual. I think they went down like Titanic or something crazy. Like Astor is in the picture, that kind of stuff. So yeah, those are great breakdowns.
It's a good show, man. And I actually read Dr. Sleep afterward. And if you read the books, it's a good sequel. If you watch the movie, it's not really a good sequel for The Shining. But the book itself, I think, does a good job. So if you just read the book, I say follow that. Okay. Murph loves The Shining remake from the 90s.
Was there such a thing, or is he just being funny?
Wasn't it on TV? Was there a TV remake? I thought there was like a TV.
Was it really? Wow.
Thought. Okay, Murph, you got a ghost story?
Well, my dad and my grandfather used to always tell me this one story. Now, again, this is back in the day. You don't have cell phones or anything. They're driving on the highway, and there's a tractor trailer that jackknifed right in front of them.
Ooh.
So, and it's like at the late at night, and even on the highway, there isn't as many cars just because, it's back then, like in the 60s or 70s. And so they get out of the car to see about the guy, and they can't find him. And so they're thinking like maybe he was like thrown from the vehicle.
Oh, man.
And so they're like taking their time. And the crazy thing is what happens is a police comes with the driver. So somehow the driver left the scene, was able to get a phone from somewhere, call the police. The police picked him up and then brought him to the scene.
What?
Yeah.
So he was like the Flash. He just got out of there so fast.
I don't know.
Nobody saw him.
My dad and grandfather couldn't explain it, but they're like,
what?
They don't know if the guy was a ghost or an angel because they're like, it didn't make sense. They're like, the guy shouldn't have survived from it. And then also how he left and then came back. I don't know if my dad will say anything with being in the chat about it. I know I'm probably making it. I'm not telling it as a story as they did, but I always thought that was interesting. And it wasn't like they were goading me or anything because I asked my grandfather later and he told the same story that my dad did, like verbatim. So,
yeah, that's it. That kind of stuff, the unexplainable, I think, is some of the most creepy because you don't know what happened. You don't know what to say about it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My mom just brought up The Sixth Sense. I haven't watched that in forever.
That's a good one.
Wow. Yeah, it is a good one. So Jay Ryan said, wait, that's not a mask.
Yeah.
And Mo says the 90s version had one of the most annoying child actors in history, Cortland Mead. I don't know.
Do you know who that is?
No, I do not.
Mo,
he must have been the Red Rum Kid. Must be the Red Rum Kid.
Mo's doing those deep dives.
I know, man. Okay. Aaron, do you have any? You have a story?
A specific story, no, but I have had plenty of experiences with like the shadow people, that kind of stuff,
Oh,
where
yeah.
they'll like appear or you hear things. Sometimes things move. You're like, wait a minute, that like unexplainable things around,
The
but
shadow
definitely
people.
shadow people. Yep. That
Now,
that's the
were
thing
you afraid to mention that?
no,
Okay. Okay.
They do feed off fear, though.
but I will
I
say that
mean, yeah.
when you say, well, yeah, shadow people, I guess now it's kind of heard of, but when it's happening to you and you're younger, you're like a teenager and or you're younger or whatever, and you're seeing stuff, you're like, that's really not stuff you can talk about easily, with other people.
Right.
And still we take it serious. So
Well, the crazy thing is, since the internet, everyone throughout the world, and when people draw, because
share
I've only had one experience with that, but the one that
Right.
I had, it was almost like the Undertaker, like a 7-foot outline of a guy that would look like from a Western with a hat and jacket and stuff. And I'll never forget that because I was a kid. I woke up my parents shouting at it.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Say what that was again.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, say what it was again.
So the shadow people they're basically like all black, but you can still see them. So
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I'm thinking like 7 or 10, I saw one in my bedroom, and he had the outline of like the Undertaker, the wrestler of WWF. He was like really tall, and you could see the outline of like a cowboy hat
Yeah,
and
the
like
brimmed
a
hat.
jacket. And I started yelling at him to get out of my room, and then my parents came running in, and I told people
Interesting.
about it before, but I always thought it was a dream. But then the internet, and then on YouTube, I saw that other people have had the shadow people, and that's what they call, and they actually live off of fear.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
like for
interesting.
instance, I remember, and maybe it was just like where I was. I've been in places that, people would be like, "Oh, it's haunted." I lived in this one big old mansion.
Sorry, man. We're laughing at the chat. It's okay.
Yeah,
Keep
I
going.
see that. I lived in this old mansion, and it was in the ghetto and whatnot, and so it was like real spooky, and people would like nicknamed it the Maryland Mansion.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It was like
Yeah.
it was kind of a party house or whatever, but
Right.
yeah, but it was a spooky ass place for a lot of people, and I guess I kind of gotten used to it.
Yeah.
But I remember more than once where you would be in a dark room and it seemed like there's something black and big in the
Wow.
corner, and then you like it just feels like tension in the room. You turn the light on and it's like it's gone. Then you turn the light back off and it would be there again, and the tension would be back in the room, real thick. So just crazy stuff. Yeah.
That is crazy to me. It makes
I
me
suppose
wonder
it was the
where
house
that.
that was haunted. I don't know.
Wait, say it again.
I suppose it was the house that was haunted. I don't know.
Yeah. It does make me wonder where that originates. You know what I mean? So it makes me wonder what's going on with it. Now, I never had anything like that. But I was scared to death of movies like The Exorcist. And I remember crawling, like as a little kid, when you could fit behind the couch and use it as a tunnel and, play behind the couch. I would run back there, and that was kind of my safety zone. So whenever we watched, like, they didn't care how old I was. Like, they would turn on Friday the 13th or, Halloween, and I was little, and yeah, all that shit was on. Like, Poltergeist was tame compared to The Exorcist.
I don't know, when he starts peeling at his face is pretty.
It's still not as bad as The Exorcist, but have you guys seen Exorcist 3?
I didn't even know there was a third one.
I'm not sure I have. Maybe. I don't
Watch
know.
that. So you guys love Lord of the Rings, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Wormtongue, the guy that plays Wormtongue.
Yes.
He is in that movie, and he puts on a phenomenal acting, like, chop. What do you call it? He just has phenomenal acting chops in that movie, and it's great because he's the guy that also plays Chucky, right?
Yes.
And but his monologue that he does while he's in the cell in The Exorcist 3 is just fantastic. So I would recommend you guys check that out at least one time.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's great.
He is a great actor, so you guys have to check it out. You laughed at that one. Murph was robbed by gangsters, and this is how he processed it. Mo says if you keep researching,
No.
you'll discover something called sleep paralysis.
That's different than the shadow people, Mo. That's a different thing.
Yeah, but some people believe that sleep paralysis is actually by aliens.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah.
everyone knew it was a medical condition.
No, I mean, if I sleep on my stomach,
No, it's the succulent.
I have problems with like sleep paralysis. I can't get up, so I never sleep on my stomach because of that.
Or the night hag.
Oh yeah. Hey,
stand-
listen to this.
You stand on your chest. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have a ghost story.
Why
That'll be
are we
cool.
giving time? Why are we giving him time?
Nah,
It depends. Now, is that supposed to be nun?
Nan.
I think
Nun lives with
Nan.
you?
Nan,
Or
like
nanny.
Nana.
Okay, like a nanny. You had a nanny
Grandma.
Nana.
or grandma. It's one of the
thinking Nana.
two.
I bet it's
All right, we
grandma.
could interpret this so many different ways.
Could be an aunt too. Sometimes nanas or
all right.
aunts.
She lived with us when she was old and sick until she died. I was just a kid. She used to read stories to me and sing to me before bed, cute Nan stuff. When I turned 10, she gave me this whole speech about how I'm a big kid now and she doesn't need to tuck me in at night anymore. I remember all this like it was yesterday. Thing is, she died when I was 7.
Nice.
Oh,
All
damn.
lies. He's alive.
Now we know what's wrong with you, Dean. Different but same. Okay.
Pronounce that, Derek. What did
As
you type in there? Pronounce
As Miyagi? Miyagi.
Maggie.
Miyagi-san would say different but same.
Different, but same.
How come you can't pronounce that, Murph?
What?
Miyagi.
Grandmother? Miyagi?
No, Miyagi, dork.
Miyagi?
Dean was raised by nuns. Laugh out loud.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
I didn't know if it meant nun or nanny or grandma. I don't know what the hell. Is that true,
Yeah.
Dean? That's what I want to know. Is that a true
What you
story?
call a group of nuns, a nan.
So I don't really have like a personal ghost story. I got to be honest. I've
That's 'cause
never
you don't have a
encountered
soul.
a ghost. It's probably true. It's okay.
No, it's not okay.
You should probably
Yeah, it's great.
experiment with psychedelics and black magic. That would be
That's
a
right.
good start.
Maybe I'm just a Nephilim. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Nephilim,
short,
I have no
though.
soul.
Yeah.
you're a midget one.
They say
Midget.
they're pretty much humans now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
So-
interbred.
Yeah.
Dean said it's 100% true. Pretty cool story, Dean. I like it.
Dean, it's called mental illness, but we knew this before tonight. Take meds.
Okay. I'm going to read this. We have a local bar in my hometown. It's called
Right on.
Stephen's Lounge. Stephen's Lounge. That's what it's called. It's a dive bar. It's a hole in the wall. It's dirty. You can smell the urine as soon as you walk through the door.
Sounds fun.
You know, those kind of dives bars.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope you guys, I hope everybody has one in their hometown because it really makes it nice and homey. And
Yeah, so wait a minute. So in the past, it would be it would smell like smoke all the time. But since they got rid of the cigarettes in the
Well,
bar, now it
it-
just smells like the bathroom.
well, it used to smell like piss and cigarettes. Now it's just
You're right.
piss.
You're right.
So, yeah, now Mo's making fun of us here. We don't know about blue light specials. Awesome. What's your book about, Murph? Oh, here we go. We're not doing that, Dean. We're off of
It's
that.
about life before
Okay.
the Great Flood.
So here we go. It's Stephen's Lounge at this bar. There's a woman who
Jay Ryan's
goes in
right.
with her friend, and she is she's had several experiences in the ladies' room, all places. So I can imagine where everybody's imagination's going right now. The women's restroom is a one-stall bathroom. When you walk into it, the door opens up to the sink and vanity. To your right's a bench, and there are often long waits to use the facilities. To the left is the stall. On at least a dozen occasions in the 13 years that I've been old enough to go in this bar, I've thought that someone was in the stall when no one was there. I felt so much like someone was there that I actually waited. I would wait a few minutes and then realize that I couldn't see the shadow of their feet or their head. That's what
Derek,
you
why are
see in
you
the
in the
stall.
women's bathroom?
So you can't see the actual feet or head. This is when a living person really is in it. I mean, so I would try the door, and sure enough, no one was in it. I'm a skeptical believer. I've had a lot of personal experience with paranormal, so I know things happen that can't be explained. But I also know that people, myself included, will let their imaginations run away. So I always dismissed it. One night I was in the bar, and the place was empty, but we went to use the bathroom or I went to use the bathroom and had the same feeling. Someone was in the stall. I heard some rustling. Maybe they were getting some toilet paper or doing whatever in their purse. So I sat down on the bench and waited, and I saw the shadow of feet and the head moving, the shadow of the head moving. So I waited and waited, but then I realized it had been some time that I had waited and I didn't hear anything else. So I still saw the shadow. But at this point, I'm not thinking ghosts. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go get this bartender because some chick passed out on the toilet. Mm-hmm. I'm also more than a little concerned for the person at this point. I pick up my oh, wait, no, let me skip this part because she talks about her emotions and all this stuff. Let's skip that stuff.
Shit, yeah.
So what she does, she goes, I try the door, and I'm sure you've guessed by now there was no one in the stall. I wasn't really scared. She wasn't scary. She was lonely. And I actually kind of grinned, a self-satisfying grin. It hadn't just been me all those other times. I was actually having an experience before, just without the more solid evidence. Like the wrestling in the shadow, as soon as I opened the door, I felt alone. It was so strong and immediate that I actually felt the absence of her presence. I presume it was a woman. It felt female. So I thought that was an interesting story. One that we don't have to hear about too many weird things, that are happening in the bathroom. So I was trying to keep it a little bit clean.
Yeah.
Jay says, sounds like a good place to get hepatitis. You know what, Murph? You can think whatever you want. I'm kind of sucked into these stories. I like to hear what they are.
You know what? I will tell you this. When I was a teenager, I worked at a movie theater, and it was big. We had over 20 screens, and like the hallway was big enough to have like 3 cars in it. And we were busy like a Friday or Saturday night, and we would actually have people be in line that would be so busy. Like we'd have like 4 or 5 different lines waiting to clean the theaters. And there was this old guy out of nowhere standing, and he fell forward and then just died. So there's like tons of people in the hallway, and this guy just died there. And literally like 2 to 3 weeks after that, like weird stuff kept happening at the theater, and everyone was like, "Ooh, man, that guy died. He must still be here." And like projectionists would say weird stuff was going on, and I watched the guy fall over. He just fell over and he was dead. And it was nuts because when you're that busy, like
you just watch people die. You just let them die. You don't do nothing for them. You just watch it and let them die.
You mean I was doing my job?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Managers still let him die.
Managers were tending to the body, and then I'm like 17. I'm not a medical professional.
I'm on the clock.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. I'll just watch a dude die and not do anything about it. It's okay. It's okay.
I didn't watch him die. He died. Like he just fell over like a tree, and he was dead.
That's watching somebody die, by the way.
Watching him die is a process. He was already dead. It was like that.
Gosh.
It wasn't
sure
a
process. What he loved.
Yeah.
And then he just chilled there for a bit.
So, do you guys have any like local legends, like local?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a pretty cool legend. I don't know if it's super spooky, but it's kind of cool.
Okay.
So where I live,
yeah, keep going.
I got here. Where I live, it's right at the Mississippi River, and so westward expansion and all that stuff kind of stopped for a little bit in my area, and there was some Indian tribes and stuff that lived around here, and the American military moved in and put in a fort. And so
I hope it was the American military.
and like started relations with the local tribes and whatnot. And I guess the legend was that the Indians said that there was a spirit that lived on this main island. Now, the Mississippi has locks and dams that control the height of the river and all this other stuff. And back in 100 years ago, or whatever, they weren't there, so the river was really low, and there were these caves that can't be accessed now anymore, where they built this fort on the island, and there was a white bird spirit that they said lived here. It was a giant white bird, and apparently the Americans scared it off with their guns, with how loud they were. They said the Americans were loud. So
wow,
but that's pretty cool with the spirit of the river living in a cave. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That's creepy. But cool.
Apparently, before the lock and dams, there was a local journalist who went into the caves looking to see what was in there and all that stuff, and said that he had found Egyptian artifacts, and like a big international case out of it, until finally got enough attention that they were like, well, we want to see all this proof, and then it was, he was proven to be a hoaxer, but many in history. A lot of people don't realize, but I thought that was kind of neat, little local history.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't think, we don't have anything about like I don't know. I guess I'm in Sasquatch country. Like, we've been filmed around here, like the area that my father and mother-in-law live, just around the corner from us, basically. That's where everybody comes to check out the land to see if they can find Sasquatch. Just one of the many places I know, but we've been on TV for this. So like this area, it's really kind of weird to think about it. What's that?
I said nice.
It's kind of funky. Walking. Probably. But the other thing we have, do you guys have a Crybaby Bridge? It seems like everybody has a Crybaby Bridge.
What's Crybaby Bridge? What does that mean?
No, we have a Crybaby train spot, though.
Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah. It's a local legend. It's like urban legend shit where they're like, there's we have a lot of old bridges around here, like covered bridges and even bridges that aren't used anymore on some of the old country roads. And so kids would go, they don't have anything to do, and they would like dive off the bridges into the creeks and rivers and stuff. And they would get scared at night, and then they would come back and tell tales about hearing about a crybaby under the bridge. There was a baby crying, and they would tell these tales. It was a bunch of shit, but it's just funny because I always thought that, it's one of those urban legends that everybody talks about, but nothing is ever, documented about it.
Yeah. No, there was like this spot, you ever see where you park a car by a train track and somehow like ghosts will push it or something. There was a train track by me that people were trying to say that. So we go there and we're like, all right, we're going to try this.
Yeah.
And, no, for some reason, those ghosts just didn't want to show up for us. So,
oh, that's funny. Well, see this. So Crazy Mad. I'm not far from Crybaby Bridge. See, there's tons of them all over Ohio. I think it's traveled all over Ohio for sure. Hey, Amanda, thanks for coming in.
Back in Scranton, we had a road that if you drove on, people said you'd sometimes see a girl that died on the road.
Yeah, I've heard that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those are all like Lady in White.
Yeah. And then also because of the mine, we have coal mines there. Tons of people died in the coal mines. So if you went up around there, people said that you could hear voices and things like that of the dead. And I'm like, screw that. I ain't doing that.
Right. Yeah, I don't like that shit. So Mo says, I thought you were in Ohio, Dirk. That's not Sasquatch country. Don't you guys have the Grassman or some other pale imitation? No. Well, yeah. And like, so Crazy Mad says Grassman is called, Sasquatch is called the Ohio Grassman. But we are known for bringing people from all over to come and check out, to go squatching around here. And it's happened. So yeah, it's kind of weird because growing up, we never heard about it very much until later on, saw TV shows and they're like coming out here and we're like, what the hell's going on? So just
to tie in to talk about like cryptids and stuff, to kind of back up that giant bird that I was talking about, there is like a thunderbird that has been seen across the state of Illinois, which is where I live. So
okay.
I wonder if the two are connected in some way.
I mean, it could be. It's kind of weird. Some of the cryptids, like the black-eyed kids. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah, that's freaky, man.
That is some freaky shit.
Black-eyed kids.
Yeah.
They're
so knock on your door or something and like.
Well, yes, or they could meet you at a car. Like if you're in the car, they might knock on your window. Okay. But they're featured in the Cryptidnals. If you guys pick up that book by 656, they put the black-eyed kids in there. Cool. But yeah, they're actually like. They're considered to be soulless. They're very evil. You can feel the evil when they come by, but they'll knock on your window and talk to you, and they try to suck you in that way. But I've heard a lot of people that have interactions with them. They have a hard time getting away from them, like making themselves leave. So it's kind of a weird situation. And Crazy Mad says that is scary. I hate all kids. Yeah. Oh, damn. Well, I do believe the black-eyed kids is probably one of the creepiest things I've heard.
That's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
To me, there has to be some truth when you have multiple cultures have the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's interesting too. These stories are kind of universal. They have stories of like Sasquatch in all kinds of countries, all over the world. So it's not just an American thing. And I think the black-eyed kids have been all over the world too, by the way. It's kind of weird to think about that.
You ever start getting into the weird parts of YouTube? At least back in the day, and they would have these like grainy videos from Brazil, and it'd be like this little gnome or some shit, or like a witch flying in the air. Yeah, like what the hell? It looks pretty good, but that shit's gotta be as sketchy as hell. A little.
Yeah. That's funny.
But it looks cool because it looks like that's like a gnome. He's even got a pony hat.
What's real creepy? I think a week ago on TikTok, someone had a video of hunter cameras, and like some of the things that showed back, there'd be like little kids walking at night in like woods and stuff, and it's like, what the hell is this? Yeah, if you watch those are freaky as hell.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that stuff is pretty real. But some of it's made up. Some people are acting that out too. So
I think Black-Eyed Kids, I think they're playing down at the Silver Dome.
Where is the love?
Oh, that's funny. Mm-hmm. Black-Eyed Kids are a reverse nondescript white van situation. That's true. Kids with black eyes are any children on my lawn. Dang. That's rough. It's rough, Crazy Mad. Danny's wish is to become a real black-eyed kid, but for now he's just a creepy puppet.
Puppets are creepy, though,
well,
let's be honest. Okay,
so let's move beyond the ghost stories and go to something more conspiracy.
Ooh.
So let's talk aliens. Let's get there, right?
All right.
Like Mexicans?
Oh, wow. That's racist. I had to kick you just for that. But anyway, no, I'm talking about like the Greys. You guys have heard of the Greys, right?
Yes.
Have you heard of them? Okay. Now, what's weird is every time we mention our comic and talk about pre-flood, that was a great show. Every time we mention our comic and say, Ballad of the Celestials is, talking about all these mythologies, and then they're like, oh, ancient aliens. And I'm like, no, we are not ancient aliens, but I am intrigued about the alien, what do you call it, phenomenon or conspiracy. because I think there is something to it. I don't know what it is, but I want to find out more. I was reading up on a guy who has had. I mean, he went around and lectured, and he was actually he was an engineer, and he used to build DUMBs. Do you guys know what DUMBs are?
No.
Deep underground. Yep, go ahead.
Deep underground mines. I don't know.
Military bases.
Military base. Yeah,
So,
yeah. DMB.
DUMB. Yeah. And so what they would do is they would dig holes. They're like 4 miles deep, you know, and they'll build these military bases underground, and then they've connected them. So there's this story where they're all connected under the ground. And basically, there's all kinds of stories about just what Crazy Mad's saying. Underground lizard people. They're saying there's also grays under there, and the lizard people are another species of aliens. And so, yeah, they're
Wait a minute.
illegal space aliens.
Wasn't there? I think I remember seeing a YouTube video about that like 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Who worked for the military or as a contractor, I think is what it was. And yeah, he was a part of this digging out, and they found an underground civilization of lizard people, and they shot him with some laser device that split him open. And
okay,
and all this other stuff.
So that is not lizard people. Actually, it was a lizard species. But the Greys are the ones who actually shot him, and I'm going to show you his picture right now.
Okay, maybe you're right. It's like I said, it was like 10 years ago when I seen it.
Yeah, this happened.
Super cool.
Yeah, this is interesting. Let me get to his picture. Well, I thought I had his picture. There it is. Let me share this. This is Phil Schneider, and he is the engineer that was digging and helping the military set up their bases.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up, he had one of his friends die. His friend was going around who he worked with talking about they have these underground bunkers, they have aliens under here. And the guy ended up getting, well, he committed suicide is what they said. But he said, my friend would never do that. He goes, there's no reason for him to commit suicide. He just all of a sudden did it out of the blue. He thinks the military shut him up. And, you know, the problem with that was that, you know, he knew a lot about what was going on. So he said, these people will try to shut us up for any reason just because we're sharing the information.
Yeah.
And so they went after him. Probably just Bosk trying to collect on a huge chud bounty. That's awesome. I love Bosk.
Shot him.
It's got as far as a script of models for the aliens. Yeah. But you know, in my opinion, this is interesting because this guy then went around and started lecturing. He started telling everybody about this stuff. And he actually, let me get to his page where it talks about him. I got to find him. He went to an underground bunker back in the day, and he started sharing this out. In 1979, he was drilling in the desert in, where's it at? Dulce, New Mexico. And they had drilled 4 holes in the desert that went down several thousand feet. One of the holes kept bringing up dirty dust, putrid odors, and broken off machine bits that were sent down the hole. Boring machines and lasers came back up damaged when they were sent down there. So they sent a probe, and it came up missing. Eventually, people got sent down there, and Phil was the first person to go. He was lowered down into the cave, and when he got down there, standing around 10 feet away, were 2 7-foot grays. 7 foot.
7 foot what?
Grays. Gray aliens.
Grays.
As he was reloading, or no, I'm sorry, he became petrified, but managed to empty one clip from his pistol into the grays. As he was reloading, one of them hit Phil with some kind of particle beam weapon, which gave him a very high dose of nuclear radiation poisoning, similar to cobalt radiation, but even worse. Phil's lung was burnt out of him. He has a huge scar running down his chest, which he showed at his lectures, and are available on video. His fingers on his left hand were burnt off. His bones were burnt, and he was basically cooked. He was in radiation isolation therapy for 400 days plus. In the cave were large metallic vats found filled with human body parts and generally just glands from people. In the vats were high-tech stirring devices that stopped the blood coagulating. So they were trying to feed off the glands from people.
Ew.
And they found this stuff. So it's very interesting to me that then he went around, was trying to tell people what happened, and they kept threatening him. Like they threatened to kidnap his kid. They also tried attempting to kill him several times, which they were not able to do, which it's just crazy to think about how they actually went after him, how many times, but it's pretty incredible.
Hard man to kill.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up actually killing a guy that shot him. So a guy went and shot him, and he killed that guy in return with a shot. And he's fighting for his life. So I think he's been prepared. He started carrying a gun around with him.
Yeah. All right. So there's plenty of creators here and in the crowd. Who's gonna actually make this comic book?
I think it's cool as hell, man.
Be a great comic book.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of creepy too, because he says there's actually a big conspiracy with it, that the reason why they have those vats of glands is because the aliens have been under a treaty signed with the governments of the world that they're allowed to abduct people and steal them. That's why we have so many people going missing all the time. But the treaty was supposed to set up where they return those people and wipe their memories. They don't get returned, a lot of them. And they found out the aliens were taking too many people that they weren't able to, hold their end of the bargain.
Yeah.
And what they were able to, they signed the treaty so that we could get technology in place of them being able to, abduct these people and do experiments on them.
Uh-huh.
What it's kind of turned into is the aliens are feeding off the humans, and we still get technology.
Right.
So the treaty is kind of out of, it's out of whack now.
So the politicians human traffic to the lizard people in exchange for... I think I've heard this theory before.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. And they're saying it's not the politicians, it's really like shadow government type of stuff,
Right.
And there's even a bigger conspiracy saying that's part of the drug trade. The drug trade is part of this to make money, so they have enough to build the dumbs underground so that they can do more work with the aliens so they can grow this. And he says, this guy that you're seeing the picture of right now, he says there are 11 species of aliens that he's coming.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't believe
know
any of the alien stuff.
I don't know if I believe it or not. I'm just telling you a story. And he says 2 of them are actually nice. They're benevolent. So they're actually here for peace. The other ones are more of like, feed us. We need, give us what we want. And they take what they want. So pretty interesting to think about.
Nuke
them. Well, and that's part of the other thing is that that's what drew him here was, World War II drew him here because they knew we had nuclear technology at that point. So they came to check on that. That's what they're saying. And so once they came, they knew that we could be a threat with that. And, think about Antarctica. You guys know the stuff about Antarctica, right?
Just that every country in the world has signed a treaty not to go there.
Yeah, that no one can go there.
Yeah.
And doesn't that make you think something's wrong? I mean, why?
You know what most people think about that, though? Well, that's more of a flat Earth. That's where the dome thing is, and that's why people can't, I believe, is the big theory.
Oh, the ice wall, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the ice wall.
Yeah. That's part of it, too. Some people are saying there's a flat Earth and they believe in the aliens.
Well, and some people believe that's where the Nazis went, that they went to Antarctica.
Let's not forget about the Hollow Earth.
The what?
Well,
the Hollow Earth.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
Admiral Byrd said that he when he flew over one of the poles, he saw a giant hole and like there was a warm place that he could see, land it or something like that. And
Yeah, he said more resources than we already had.
yeah, it was like rivers and stuff. It's like,
Yeah,
but it was in the earth.
Mo.
Showing it.
And several alien species look like people, blonde-haired, blue-eyed species. That's interesting. I don't know, but
Don't get it kicked off YouTube.
There's so many theories out there. It's interesting to me. I do wonder about it though, because there are so many stories. How can so many people have so many stories? You know what I mean? It goes back to, once you hear so much of it, what's that about and why? You know what I mean? And I would love to get to the bottom of it. I know we never will, but
what do you guys think about the military coming out with all these this video finally? Because my thing with the UFO stuff is like everybody has a camera on their hip all the time, like 7 million or whatever.
Right.
So where are all the UFO, confirmation? Like
I've heard two thoughts on that outside of aliens, that there are people that believe in like pixies, like kind of these little creatures that have technology. But the most recent I heard, which I loved, was the idea of the spaceships are actually from the future. That
I've heard that.
It's us practicing time travel. They're figuring it out, and those are little devices to come back.
Or the one where they're time travelers, but they came back to try to figure out what they did wrong with their genetics. They're trying to correct it or something like that. That's why they experiment on people.
Could be. I think that's a cool idea, though. Time travel. That's
pretty interesting. Yeah.
I feel like I believe in time travel before I believe in aliens that are actually intelligent.
I don't know. I wonder. It makes me wonder. I'm not going to say they're not out there. I've never seen it.
They're not out there. There are no intelligent life off of this planet.
I think the UFOs are just military tech that has just been hushed. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but
you're right, because even a military aircraft wouldn't know. You know what I mean? They all have certain clearance, so they could see stuff that they aren't supposed to see and don't know about it.
There's technology that exists that not a lot of people are aware of. I guarantee.
Well, they say we're usually like 20 years behind, like what our government actually has and what we know.
Well, hell, they were working on stealth technology. Well, they had the SR-71 in the 70s, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They've been working on that since probably the 50s.
But that's the thing, though. A lot of this stuff, a lot of this tech never came until Roswell. And so when you actually time it out, that's when we've made a lot of progress in flight.
I'm thinking Project Paperclip or Operation Paperclip or whatever that was, where they took all the Nazi scientists.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we brought them over here, right? Yeah, we got them over here for NASA.
Yep, that's how we got NASA.
Yep.
I love that historically, before the first nuke they launched to practice, like everyone in the room, like 20 scientists were like, it's a possibility that if this nuke goes off, we can actually make a black hole and the whole world will go. Yeah. Like they had that conversation and they still push the fucking button.
They still push the fucking button. Keep that in mind, gentlemen.
I mean, that is a horror story all in of itself, right? I mean, it is
man-made horrors beyond our comprehension right there.
But I think what fascinates me is the timeline of technology did come after World War II. You know, World War II was a catalyst, and once we got into the
why that is though?
Nuclear age, things progressed incredibly.
I hear everything what you're saying, but consider this: Tesla's all of his experiment and information was seized by the American government.
That's true.
That was in the 40s, if I remember right.
I believe 1920. He made a speech that you'd be able in the future to send a picture through the air from America to Europe.
Sure.
So like, he understood the internet, even though
Talked about Wi-Fi. Yeah.
yeah, he understood energy, even though if he didn't know how to do something yet.
Action at a distance. Well,
Right.
like how do you explain action at a distance kind of thing?
Oh, look at this. Look what Mo is bringing up.
Uh-oh,
Same thing with CERN, except we didn't have our backs to the wall. They just did it for shits and giggles. That is for damn sure.
No,
That is the truth,
that
man.
is great.
It's so
that is
perfect, though,
such
isn't
a
it?
Great. We need to say that is an awesome quote. But you know why, though, technology honestly ran so quick is because the Germans scientifically did, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but they didn't put limits on their experiments. Like, they tortured people for science, and that's how even medicine things they found out from doing experiments
there's some
on
people
twins
who believe that still goes on today. So, yeah, I'm with you. I definitely understand.
Well, that's crazy too, because Hitler was trying to do time travel.
You guys, does everybody know what CERN is? Because a lot of people don't.
Yes. People know who CERN is.
So tell them what CERN is.
He's Megatron's third in command. After
I
Star
knew you
Street.
didn't know.
No, CERN is the collider that can make black holes.
Boom.
It's the Large Hadron Collider. And it's not meant to make black holes. It's meant to collide atoms, not to make black holes. That's not what it's about.
They're studying miniature black holes.
They're studying the collision of atoms. And
what do you think a black hole forms from?
That is not the only reason, Murph. That's part of the outcome.
You're lying. Don't lie to people.
Now,
you're on the take.
The thing that they are doing that I've heard they're also doing is trying to go into different dimensions, not necessarily black holes, but dimensions.
Yeah. Manhattan Project, right? Or no, what was it? The Philadelphia experiment. There it is.
Yep.
With the ship, they tried some experiment to make it invisible, and they sent it to another dimension. Have you guys heard about that one?
Yes, I have heard of that.
Well, there's a guy supposedly that worked on the CERN, said that they were opening doors to other realms and like demons were coming out of them.
Ew.
Yeah, they actually were experimenting to go into different realms, and that's what I was more getting into. That I'm going to try to share this.
The old wizards used to say, always be closing doors.
Yeah. Let me go here and show you this CERN statue. So this statue is, can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, hang on, I might be sharing the wrong thing here.
No, that's Shiva.
Yeah, so that is Shiva. Let me stop sharing.
That might be a character in our book down the road.
Cool.
Maybe.
That'd be
fun.
Maybe
we'll explain who she is.
Now, do you know who she is?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell people?
She's the destroyer of worlds. She's kind of like the Indian religion of Revelation.
There we go.
Like the apocalypse.
Yes. So
she dances to destroy the world.
The thing about CERN is that this statue is what represents CERN outside their building. They dedicated the goddess Shiva to CERN, and she represents who they are. Now, if she's the goddess of war and the destroyer of worlds,
she's not a goddess of war.
It's a war goddess. That's why she's destroyer of worlds, right?
No, they have a god of war that's someone else. She's actually supposed to be the apocalypse. She's the
so she's the end
or
times,
like the 4 horsemen.
So she's the end times, right?
Well,
and
she's the end.
So if she is the end, then why does CERN have this as their representation? So obviously, there's some nefarious things going on with CERN.
Yeah.
Because why would you put this out in front of the building?
Yeah, that's pretty weird. I mean, you could try to draw metaphors out of it, sure, but
I'm sure, but it's creepy as hell if you ask me.
Right, destroyer of old ideas or something, and so there at that place, they're destroying old ideas of science. I don't know. I'm stretching. I'm not sure why they would build a statue And I saw the video of the ritual. Like they're all dressed up in black robes and like going.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't tell what they were trying to do, but
Wait, who were dressed up in black robes?
the scientists in
Oh,
the the open air area. I don't know what they call
yeah.
it. The courtyard, and they're like in
Man.
front of the statue, and they're like leading some little ritual. There's like 6 of them or something.
Damn, man.
I'm assuming
Crazy.
the way it looked kind of staged, but you never know. Somebody got their pocket phone, got their phone out, and they're looking at them, and like, what the hell? And they record it. It's possible. You never know what nerds get up to,
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So Crazy Mad says they say the ancient text, the Mahabharata, something like that, is literal and not figurative. Yeah, man. It's creepy.
You know what also you can look up, which is crazy, is the Denver airport, the statue they have out there, and then the mural they have in the building. A lot of people think that under the
Denver?
Yeah, the Denver airport under there is
heard
a
of that.
military base.
I've heard of that
I heard
too.
that supposedly the guy that made that demon statue, the horse statue, the fucking statue crushed him or killed him somehow.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Wow.
gnarly. And then they still put the bastard up.
Oh, man.
It's like, well, now you've been blessed with the creator's blood, and we'll just go ahead and put it on this creepy ass airport too.
So it's the Denver airport statue.
Yeah.
And then the mural they have in is pretty creepy too, in the actual airport.
Yeah, I haven't been in the actual airport. I've only seen the pictures. Yeah.
It's a blue Mustang, right?
Yeah. The statue outside, but then the mural is really weird.
Okay, so let me get this to where I can share it.
Oh, darn. Time's gotten away from me. I
gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yes. But thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hanging.
Anytime.
No notice or nothing. I was like, hey, can I come on? You're like, yes.
Yeah, that can happen a lot, man. Just let us know, and we're always up
cool.
to hanging out. So,
very cool. Yeah, with my show, I've kind of slowed down a little bit. I have other things kind of going on, and I can't. It was being intermittent. So, yeah, look at that.
There it is.
It's a normal looking horse.
Yeah, right.
All right. Anyways, I'll take off. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, man. Again. Thanks for coming in. Just let us know. Unless we're shilling a book or something, man. That'd be the only time I might say, well, we have a guest, Yeah. Other than that. All right. We'll see you soon.
See you, chat.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So, yeah, look at the glowing eye. I mean, what the hell is that about? But what is it anyway?
I don't know. I knew more about the mural than I do the statue.
Yeah, I don't know much about it either. I think it ties in though. But Crazy Mad said Russians were trying to create monkey people during World War II.
I thought that was the Nazis that were trying to do that, Crazy Mad, but you could be right that it was Russia. Yeah, they were trying to make human ape hybrids or human monkey hybrids.
Right. So this is how Doom started. Scientists tried to open a gateway to hell. Yes, you're correct. And I do believe that's what CERN is doing. They're trying to open gateways, mainly for military functions, is what I believe. But I think they're going to open something they don't want to open. I do believe in supernatural things.
So they kind of want to beam people up like in Star Trek, that they can start moving things.
Yeah, it's crazy. The statue's called Blucifer. Weird. It's a horse. Yeah. Mo says it was Russia. So, yeah, I mean, the Denver statue is that's a creepy thing, man. I'm not sure the significance of it. Yeah, it's called Blucifer. It's cast fiberglass sculpture of a Mustang located at the Denver International Airport. It's 8 feet tall. So, but I know there's other things there at the Denver airport that are very strange. The murals are very weird because they don't know who painted the murals, right?
Correct.
So, but that to me is just somebody breaking in. You know what I mean?
No, they don't know who did it, but they were allowed to be done.
Right. But that just means somebody's letting somebody in to do it, I think that's easily, like, I don't know, debunked a little bit.
No, the Denver airport wanted it done. It's not like it was, but they don't know who the author of it to ask questions because it's very weird.
Yeah, the paintings are very strange. If you go look at them, they are strange. Oh, 32 feet tall. I'm sorry, not 8. It said 8 feet tall on that other thing, so I was mistaken. Sorry about that. The Nazis wanted a perfect bloodline, Murph. They wouldn't be down for making more arrogant apes. Oh, man. You know,
Here,
this
Derek, let
kind
me
of
share
stuff.
this.
Oh, okay. There it is. That's the mural. Yeah, it's got like children. The children are weird. It's kind of militant, isn't it?
Some of it, yeah, it's a very weird fire. And
if you right click on the picture, it'll let you open it in a new tab, and you can share those tabs. Then you just get to pick. You don't get all the text.
Can you see it right now or no?
Yeah, we can see it. You're just seeing all the other stuff too. Let me solo it and see if we can get it bigger.
Wait, I'll get it. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Crazy Madman. To be fair, all children are weird. You were a child once, Crazy Mad. Were you not? If not, then we have a new conspiracy on our hands. I love this kind of stuff, though. That guy that was
Okay, can you see them now?
yeah, that Phil Schneider guy that was in the deep underground military bases. That is an interesting story, and you should read up on it because
I never heard of that. Where did you find that?
So remember Timothy Alberino, the guy that talks about the Giants?
Yeah.
He put a video out about this guy and had the guy actually a real video of the guy giving a lecture of his accounts, and it's crazy to listen to the guy, man. Like, he talks about it. He thinks he's witnessed all this stuff. It's crazy.
I think it's weird that you think Crazy Mad was a child. I thought we already figured out he's a djinn. He's a genie.
Well, you're backing him up, so look at that. No, I was born and
he was already
18.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, where's my wishes, damn it? If you're a djinn, give me 3 wishes. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah, but they end up being bad, like the monkey paw.
I'll just ask for one thing.
What's that?
to give me everything I ever wanted. Like, just only one wish.
Yeah, but
One
see,
wish
here's
to
the thing you don't
rule.
realize. Things you want, bad things have to happen for you to mature to be the best person you can be. So you're going to have a lot of stuff you have to face that you wouldn't want to face.
I don't have to face I just want a couple things. Not much. I'm a humble guy. I don't need to be the
You
richest.
want to be humble. Well, you got to go through things to actually be humble. So you're going to have a lot of pain, sir.
Nah. I just want a couple things. No big deal. New drum set. That'd be cool. Don't think I'd hurt anybody getting a new drum set.
No, but then your hands fall off.
What? Come on, man.
Crazy Man is going to give you something good for free.
So look at this.
Well, Mo says
painted
knows
by
the painting.
Yeah, he's been looking it up. So they were painted by Leo Tenguma. Interesting. I didn't know they knew who it was. I don't know. The paintings are definitely weird. The soldiers in it are strange. The children laying there looks like, this one looks dead.
Yeah.
There's like fire and just weird, like, I don't know. Looks like they're setting the whole forest on fire in that bottom left painting.
Yeah, it's very weird.
These are strange paintings. They're not just typical paintings.
And when you add the horse too, it's just like, what the hell's going on? It's an airport. You know what I mean? It's an airport.
Well, it's an international airport. Yeah, it's not a small airport.
Yeah.
This is something that people from all over will fly through. So, who's this? 69 Girls XYZ. Oh, it looks like a bot came by. Find love on the best dating site. Well, thank you for that. We love it. Get out of here. I bought your book without any idea what a celestial is. What else do you want? That's
Mm-hmm.
true. That is true. Looks like I'm going to have to go in and block this bot that's in here.
Yeah. I feel like we only get bots when our show's doing well, so
Yeah.
that's a good sign. See, I told you, you wanted one wish from a djinn, crazy mad, and now shit's happening. Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You laugh, but your fingers are going to start falling off.
Maybe it could be. It could be.
What are you doing?
I was going in there and trying to report those bots. I don't want that shit on here. So, and Crazy Mad went and took care of it. So that's awesome. Thank you. That's why I have mods, baby. According to Murph, this show has never had bots. I know. The monkey paw is a porn bot. A porn bot. Laugh my ass off. No. Yeah. No shit. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about this alien stuff? Like, I'm really intrigued by it, mainly because when you have people who have died, it really makes me wonder what's going on.
Oh, I don't believe in it. I just believe people put that on when they can't explain something.
Do you believe there's a conspiracy about it, though, that people are trying to make it a thing, even though it may not be real?
I don't know, because, like, it's a good question because, when you put mental health in things, your eyes can see something, your brain can see things that aren't there.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much is that? Like, it's tough because, again, our five senses are just signals. They can easily be messed up. So even trusting yourself,
Yeah.
it's a tough thing. One thing I will say, though, I do feel like something that's very real is the feelings you get in your chest. Like, not just when you, like, lose a family member and you have that grief in your chest, but you also have that, like, if you're in a bad situation, you can feel something bad's happening,
Sure.
to leave. Like, I feel like that sensation in your chest, that means it's something real. So if someone had like just if myself, if I thought I saw a ghost or an alien or something, if my chest had that feeling, then I would believe it more than just anything my eyes or ears heard. And so that's what I always go by. So I would say if people said something like that, I believe them more than what their eyes or ears tell them.
Right. Yeah, I do believe that your senses tell you what's going on. You know what I mean? I believe that your body has a way of sensing danger and
Yeah.
The spider sense
even, like,
is just
you
a
look at
heightened version
animals,
of it.
like whenever there's a typhoon somewhere, like all the animals are gone. Like,
Oh yeah.
they know, they can feel in their
Oh
bodies
yeah.
they gotta leave.
Well, the thing about animals, they can sense vibrations. They can tell the weather. Like, my dogs get funny whenever the weather changes. You know what I mean? Like when a storm comes, they get all freaked out, and they know long before it ever hits us. So, there's senses there that we don't have, and I don't know. I think it's a true thing.
No, I think we did. Like, I think sailors had that sense probably back in the day. I think we just become numb to things because we live in boxes now rather than being among nature.
Yeah.
So, well, we're over an hour.
Are you wanting to kill it?
Yeah, let's kill it.
Okay, well, tell us what you guys think about this stuff. I'm a little bit interested in this stuff. And this guy, Phil Schneider, if you want to look him up, that's his name, Phil Schneider. He is, he got murdered. He says he was murdered. He says, if I ever commit suicide, know that I was murdered. And I think that's an interesting thing to think about because they did say that he committed suicide. But whenever they did an autopsy on him, they found he has like a breathing machine. So since his lung got burnt and stuff, he had a breathing machine. They found tube wrapped around his neck. He had marks of tubing wrapped around his neck 3 times. And they said that he had fingers blown off whenever that alien shot him. He couldn't have tied himself with that tube tight enough to choke himself out.
Sure.
So they're saying there's no way he could have killed himself in the manner that he died. And so there's still a lot of like speculation as to why he died. And his wife says the government did it. So
crazy mad.
Yeah, I'm going to go up here and read some chat, and then we're going to get out of here. So, Murph has a Dirk voodoo doll confirmed. That is true. You bet he does. It's creepy. He probably sleeps with it at night. Oh, shit. The guy had another art piece up in Denver, not at the airport. Oh, okay. The guy who painted the airport stuff. Whether or not they do exist, we should stop broadcasting our coordinates and genetic information out to space. Dark forest theory and all that.
Yeah, I don't know what dark forest theory is.
I'm not sure what the dark forest theory is, but I do agree when we put that stuff out, man. But I mean, don't movies and music and all that do that anyway? Don't the radio waves go on forever?
I think Arrogant 8 told us what dark forest is.
Yeah. He did tell us?
Yeah, keep going down.
Oh, okay. So we'll do that in a minute. Crazy Matt says, I've never seen anything alien or UFO related or Sasquatch or anything, but I have seen a ghost. Huh. I do want to hear about that. I agree, Double A. Let's go. Just like we should stop making killer robots. Yeah, AI that can kill us. That's crazy. 100% no robots, no free info to aliens. I know. I feel like Star Wars were like no droids allowed. I'm not familiar with Dark Forest theory, and then I have a rabbit hole tonight.
Yeah, and there we go.
Okay, a hunter is alone in a dark forest. If he lights a torch and calls out, he could attract something, perhaps a predator, perhaps a competing hunter. Very unlikely to find a friend. Yeah.
So us with satellites and stuff would then send something out.
Sure.
Like a dark forest.
Yep. Rabbit hole indeed. The idea comes from a really good sci-fi series called The 3-Body Problem. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, man. I want to hear the ghost story too. Yeah, Crazy Mad. I want to hear about it. You have to put it in the chat here. So I want to give an update before we get out of here, and then we're going to leave. All of our books, all of our prints and cards and everything were shipped out today to Critical Blast. Woo-hoo-hoo! We have reached fulfillment time. So for those who have backed the book, be on the lookout very soon. So once it gets to Critical Blast, he will then bag them, board them, ship them out to all the individual backers. So that'll be coming to everybody very, very soon. And then we are going to be sending out the digital copy probably this weekend. So we're going to give it some time for some of the physical backers to get some of their stuff sent out, or at least Critical Blast to start shipping them. And then we're going to start getting the digital copies out to everybody. So it feels really weird that we're in this fulfillment time. I never thought we'd get here, but I'm super excited.
Road.
Yeah, man, but it's been awesome. It's so strange because I'm not sure. We're going to have to pick up the pieces and go, okay, where are we headed now? You know, what's next? And what do we want to do? And how do we want to do it? Because I know we have some improvements to do on the next campaign or the next story. We got to figure things out of how we're going to move forward to be more efficient and do a better job the next time. So, but anyway, for those of you who have backed, thank you. And even if you didn't back and you just support our channel, thank you guys so much for that too.
Mm-hmm.
We have a good time. So, all right. Crazy Mad said, it's not much of a story. My grandma died in the house I grew up in 10 years later. When I was 10, she was standing in a doorway, and it was not at all frightening. So you saw your dead grandmother standing in a doorway. Interesting. I've never seen a family member. Well, I take that back. My uncle, we took pictures of a bonfire we were having at my uncle's memorial party. And then we saw pictures of him dancing across. Once we took pictures of the bonfire, we could see a ghost dancing across. That was just this year. So I did have a ghost story. Look at that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
We know we're about a week early, but we're not going to have a show until after Halloween. So this is our Halloween show. And we will be seeing you guys soon. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're still sitting at like 191 subscribers. I don't know how we haven't got to 200 yet after all this time, but we're still just kind of sitting there. I'm actually going to blame you for everything. But yeah, we're just sitting at 191. So if you guys can get our name out there, get the show out, share it, we'll get across that finish line. 200 for just that small finish line for now. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we'll see you guys next week, and happy Halloween.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Damn, man.
Do we have an end video?